Part 2 of the excerpts from the book A Call at Dawn. He will need to lift himself up by his bootstraps, up out of the chaotic river of humanity, to stand upon the bank and observe the masses in their true state of existence as they go drifting by, struggling forms, struggling nations, becoming more submerged as they wallow along in the murky darkness of illusion. He must learn to meet the effects of causes in such a way that he will set up protective causes rather than destructive ones. If he will sit at God's feet, he must have an unprejudiced mind. He must realize that the things which are happening are not in the nature of punishment, but something for him to face calmly, without fear, without anger, meeting each experience as one of life's lessons, as something to be gained. He will then learn to live an impersonal life in the present, in accordance with divine principle and divine love. There will be no need to fear the future, as the things which might enter his life to harm him will merely pass away. God's presence watches over, and his power protects the one who loves rather than hates. It is that man should be willing to look for good in all life, in every experience, and to keep his soul alive to truth wherever it is found. Our brothers informed me that our leaders on earth have not taught the laws of the Creator and of nature as they apply to our planet, nor do our various religions admit the possibility of man on other planets, lest they be proven wrong. They, the leaders, think of their world as being the only inhabited place, choosing to believe they are the only ones who live. There are many worlds that exist. There are ancient records on our planet that tell us it is only one of many civilized worlds. There are a vast number that are evolved far beyond ours. Our greatest knowledge is that of young children in comparison with the masters of science in the cosmic university. When the Creator manifested the galaxies, he also manifested certain law by which the solar system must operate. There are 33 fixed laws a planet must be governed by in order to be actually and perfectly balanced in nature. Nature in itself is the 33 laws. Each world should know these laws and abide by them, so they may have harmony and true love to keep them in balance. Man must go deeper into nature to understand her, to understand himself. He should seek to regain the knowledge and simplicity of nature and her secrets that were once his, for nature is the schoolhouse provided for him in which to learn. Down through the ages nature's rebel son has grown away from her, and selfishly and aggressively tries to dominate the world upon which he dwells, tries to improve upon nature, instead of living naturally and closer to her. Although many have attempted to study and understand nature, only a few have succeeded in finding the path which leads to the understanding of cosmic law. The only permanent things are change and principle. Principle does not change, but everything in nature is continually changing, every moment, every second, and that change is rhythmic, following given cycles. Nothing happens by accident. Everything in this world is planned according to unchanging principle, for nature does not theorize. She is truth personified. All the great empires of antiquity fell because they stood still. They refused to change, to grow and advance. Every being has a great capacity for change. But since man is slave to his egotism, most of us dislike change, especially when it is going to interfere with our mean pride and some of our selfish and more negative ways. And so we resist it like a balking mule. But wise is he who tries to live conformably to the nature of all things, of which he is one. Our brothers explain that when one is told to study nature, it is meant that he is to study her in all her phases, animate and inanimate, that it is essential that he study the material and spiritual nature of the physical body, as well as the material and spiritual consciousness and temporal conditions around him. Nature is forever one, as a whole, but infinite in expression. Her great natural forces are invisible to our eyes, and even to our most subtle senses. There is no greater force in nature than that of the human soul, ego, or consciousness. It is deemed wise to make nature and all her manifestations our field of study. However, the average student rambles through many clumsy experiments and clutters his mind up with warring and clashing ideals. He must first understand that all things in the world are dual. For anything to exist, it must have two polarities. For anything to be balanced, it must have two focal points with an equal distribution of weight or quality. The infinite and the finite are two very important polarities. The infinite may be considered as the all, whereas the finite may be looked upon as a particular part of the all. The finite moves because of the movement of the infinite. Everything that exists on the finite plane has form and being, solely because of its extension from the infinite. The finite mind cannot see the infinite, but it can sense its existence and learn many things which move near infinity in time and space. Always equally in the most infinitesimal, as well as the greatest part of nature, there is all-pervading light. It is in all things. This immortal light is indestructible, but ever-changing, and always remaining in an order within itself, regardless of how divided. As we grow into cosmic comprehension, broadening our knowledge of nature, we shall find that those phases of nature that are now hidden from our understanding will come into our range of vision. For those who desire to master the conditions of life, the first law of nature is maintaining a physical, mental, and spiritual condition of balance, including emotional balance. There is a constant nervous, mental, and physical strain impressed on every person, making living in this world today a difficult thing. There is a constant upheaval in the life of man because of the continual clash between the order of order and the order of disorder. All the world seems to be drifting into a state of emotional unrest, as we find ourselves swayed this way and that by propaganda, emotionalism, or our own desires and forces. At the same time, there is an unrest among the people as we are in the process of changing from an old order into a new one. Although we have already entered a new age, we are still clinging to the old and have not grasped the new. As a result, everything seems topsy-turvy as we sway back and forth in our uncertainty of leaving the old and accepting that which is new. Nevertheless, all is moving to higher and greater purposes, always creating, always testing, and always enlarging. A living something, completion within completions, polarity within polarities, order within orderings, all moving through time and space toward the greater becoming. It was quite a revelation when our brothers explained that the vibration of the Earth's orbit is changing rapidly into a higher frequency, but the people are so misbehaved the planet is out of balance. It is unbalanced with disorder and chaos. The unbalanced condition caused a vacillating motion, which impels the Earth off its course. The vibration of our planet is in conflict with the vibration of its orbit, for it is not increasing in a corresponding high rate of vibration, due to the low thought frequency of the mass consciousness upon it. Now, this was written back in the 1950s, and this condition just described has indeed changed. Many who channel higher beings today are telling us that we have now reached a place where the positive is outweighing the negative in the thought atmosphere. It is important to know that our collective consciousness has raised the bar. Now we have a new timeline, and it does not call for an Armageddon-like future for us. And I see this as very, very, very good news.